Okay, hello. I hope everything's going well. Bryden here. This is a video I'm recording. I guess you can see that you're listening to it. Appreciate you tuning in. I am making a practice of creating some videos here again. The theme of this, I think, is this idea of sort of like daily stand-ups. Now, I looked. There's sort of this guy who's doing a podcast called Daily Stand-Ups. Very interesting. He's a software dev, and it seems like he's keeping it pretty tight, concise, 15 minutes. And I think maybe even in that format. When I say the sort of daily stand-up format, I doubt knowing myself that I will be able to maintain that. But the idea is, can I make something that's 15 minutes, very repeatably, hopefully, ideally, every single day, share that on YouTube. 15 minutes. One of the reasons that is because from a desktop computer, you can upload a video natively to LinkedIn. Apparently 10 minutes on mobile, but 15 minutes on desktop. So it allows me to then upload on LinkedIn, upload to YouTube, and then we'll pass through to a podcast episode too. I've been doing a long podcast for many, many years, very sporadically. I believe called Speak with Tyler Bryden. But in this, just trying to restore that habit. I'm settled into a new place, so a little bit of a quick life update. I am sitting in Port Credit. I'm actually standing. I've got a standing desk, so that's one update. I'm standing in Port Credit, Ontario, about 20 minutes outside of Toronto. And it's interesting. I moved to Toronto to be part of the community there, the DMZ. I did that in Jan, sort of 2020. A few months later, pandemic comes, Toronto shuts down. And so my experience of Toronto was much different than what I thought it was going to be. And, in some ways that was pretty painful. In other ways, that's the way that life's meant to be. And I'm very happy to have, had the privilege, especially in a difficult time, to purchase a house, have a wonderful partner, have a lovely dog who I'm sure if I do this on a daily basis will barge in here at one point to disrupt the entire thing. But that's a blessing in my life, and I don't discount that at all. So I'm out here in Port Credit, close to the water, close to some dog parks, really enjoying nature as much as I can, and trying to force myself to enjoy personal life a little bit more. And the reason I'm doing it is because I strictly enjoy it more. I'm deriving a lot more value out of personal life than I had done previously. And maybe because for me, the milestone of 30 is coming up, but I find your priorities definitely change. And then when you meet a partner who, sort of brings out the best in you and makes you happy, then you want to spend more time personally. And so that's definitely been, something I'm cherishing right now and spending a lot of time and figuring out what is this idea of work-life balance. How do I split this? And that's something that I haven't really considered before because it's just all in, doing what I've been doing at 𝗚ście 𝗴𝗃 originally, sort of a sole proprietorship, entrepreneurship, sort of marketing agency, and then now at Speak AI as a software company. And that's an interesting journey to go through, and also learn from people around you. And one of those people around me is my partner Monica, who has done an incredible job building her career as a solutions architect, not strictly, but primarily focused on Salesforce and Marketing Cloud and some of these great technology platforms. And with that skill set, really been able to gracefully climb up through her career in terms of positions, in terms of salaries, in terms of work-life balance. And so I've learned a lot from that, and making subtle changes in my life to during the summer to take my Calendly availability from, I think it was like 8 p.m. So people could book meetings up till 8 p.m. and they would, because people are in different time zones all over the world, to dropping that down to 5:30 p.m. And so with all this nature around, trying to enjoy that as much as I can, and making those things a priority as much as I can. So I have a little agenda here, which is also unlike, that's not true. I'm saying I'm making fun of myself, but I'm actually quite organized in most things. And just wanted to this is my first version of this, continuing to try to build this out on a more regular process. Generally, we do team meetings about 9:30 a.m. EST, which I think is a nice time, not too early, not too late, but for me to carve out some time to, do this video. If it's 15 minutes to post it, maybe it takes another 10 minutes, then do I push that back or do I make it go earlier? So that's one of the questions that I'm asking myself, because as I review and you get into these sprints and you do these things where you are just heads down, focused, you're not really self-reflecting, you're not really saying, hey, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? Also, what things do I want to remove from my life? What things do I want to add? And for me, communicating with people is a big one. It's hard, in this day and age to see people in location, to have conversations, one-on-one conversations, and, everyone valuing their time so much, so many things going on in people's life. I know many people won't tune into this. They won't watch this. They won't be able to listen to the whole thing, but, that opportunity is there, and maybe it's a way to connect with people that I care about, and, hopefully, and I know they do care about me too. So making this intentional effort, and also getting into the practice of just communicating again, because throughout this pandemic, you're now, people are getting back in person, and they're having this sort of experience like, wow, I forget how to communicate. And, sort of these unnatural things. And for myself, I was blocking out of a lot of time to work into flow states, to deprioritize meetings because I was, earlier in my career, just take a meeting with anyone, talk with whatever, go on forever. And then as you start to prioritize things a little bit more, you say, okay, what's the agenda for this meeting? Why are we talking? Are we moving each other forward? How can we help each other? How can we grow together? And if that isn't clear going into a meeting, then is that even necessary? And for me, that's a continued theme that I'm working on and hope to do a better job of. And I'll maybe share some practices and tools that I've been implementing to do that. So what does this entail? If you've made it this far, if I'm doing this more regularly, what kind of things do I want to talk about? Some of them are tools, things I've learned from operations at 𝗪𝒑 AI. And, there's the idea of course, you always want to share what you're doing and promote it, but it's more like, what are lessons from building a software company, from trying to raise money, from optimizing conversion rates and product, to growth channels for inbound channels through search, and how do you build affiliate programs, and all the stuff that we've sort of learned, and you sort of fall into learning out of necessity in those roles. And other things like interesting things that come out through that journey. One of them was basically, I would say an acquisition offer that it fell through, and some very interesting reasons why that fell through. And can't disclose too much information in that, but I think there are some good insights from that, some lessons that I've taken from it, my team has taken from it, and what I would do if an opportunity like that happened again, how would we approach it, how would that process go, and if you're ever in a situation where you are faced with that process, what do you need to do, what do you have to have ready, and how can you make sure that that's set up for success? And whether it's a yes or no, you get to that as quickly as possible. So that's another sort of thing that I'm interested in sharing and learning. And, as I've continued this journey at 𝗪𝒑 AI, you start to tap into these companies who are in the same domain as you, or interested in, cementing their space in the market, or acquiring talent. And if you have a talented team or a product or customers, those opportunities start to come more often. And so how can you optimize for that? How can, all the stuff that comes with those experiences and those processes, how can you best set that up for success? A couple other things that I'm, personally, very fascinated about right now are sort of the market conditions. A lot of market volatility right now, startup valuations dropping, venture capitalists, investor exits dropping 80% in Q1 of 2022. Obviously, this horrible sort of war in Ukraine. The downstream effects of that, apparently, with large ramifications and consequences for food sources, ones that we're not seeing right now, but will see. And then how does this impact you? How does this impact the world? How does that impact you if you're a founder and you're raising money, or you're a startup and you've raised money, and what you need to do next? Other things, continue, never go away for interest from me is, speech recognition, natural language processing, new innovations that are coming out in those domains, things that are just exciting like GPT-3 and DALL-E, where we're generating beautiful images from simple prompts, and how people are doing that. And sometimes I find it hard and overwhelming to share things on the screen, but if I am talking about those things, having visual resources, having tactical strategies, and even showing real data from what we're dealing with, as we say, run Google ads and see what search terms are coming through, and how Google ads have changed, and how Facebook ads have changed. All these things that I really tried to bring this sort of honest, transparent approach to, and hopefully that helps you on your journey, no matter who you are or what you are, or at least at the very least that you find interesting. Just in that, I guess, sort of daily stand-up vein, this theme or this idea is, currently what am I doing on right now? And, by outlining this, it also, if you have insights into these, or people to connect with, or, perspective through your own experience, very open to that, So day to day right now, always trying to increase the top level funnel of who knows who Speak AI is, and then bring those people. Generally, the idea is, obviously, first of all, come to the website, but then sign up for a plan, 14-day free trial, and how do we create enough value in that 14-day free trial that people want to subscribe. And that's a continuing journey, continuing to optimize. One of the things that we found has been really interesting is enabling people to personalize their plans. And we're doing that through a very manual method, but over the next few weeks, we're adding basically this calculator to our site that will allow you to specify not who you are, but the exact way that you're going to use the platform, immediately see the impact on pricing, and then you can proceed if you want, monthly pricing, annual plan, et cetera, possibly even, if not adding too much complexity, even allowing people to subscribe for a quarter, kind of thing there. So that's something that I'm doing, is obviously product optimization, but then pricing optimization, a huge piece. We still have so many blockers, I would say, on UI, UX, and just the capacity to be able to focus on those experiences individually. That's a continued challenge that we see. Right now, I'm in the process of, and part of this was this acquisition merger piece, was things got delayed, and so now I am in a spot where I'm outreaching to investors, some warm, who I've had conversations with before, some cold outreach, looking for people who have gone through that journey before, and also have maybe followed our journey, and would love to see, maybe have some insight, or want to help, or have some intros that are there. I'm trying to think what else to add. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. It is a very exciting time. It's an interesting time. I'm definitely in this spot of hyper learning, and for some reason I have felt compelled to, I don't know what it was, but today woke up this morning with this mindset of, I need to get back to this habit. I need to get back to this routine. And I've cemented some other routines in my life that have been very healthy, and I hope this is one of them. So, I'm at my 15 minutes. I have so many things I could share, so many things I could talk about, but I will leave that to my next 15 minutes. And I hope that if you watch this, you listen to it, that you found some insight, or at least excited. And if you have any thoughts, any things that you're thinking about, please feel encouraged to send me a message, tyler@speakai.co. Shoot me a message on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to chat there. And thank you to everyone who has supported me along the journey. Excited to share more. Thank you.